What's up, everybody? Welcome back to RacingDudes.com. Welcome back to another one of our previews. Well, we are back here for Belmont at the Big A, Saturday, October 5th. Let's go to race 8 on the card. It's going to be the Grade 1 Champagne Stakes. Going 1 mile, a field of 10 will line up to contest this one. And, of course, in a weird way, the Champagne did produce the Breeders' Cup Juvenile winner last year. Of course, it was Fierceness who won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile by open links. And he was nowhere to be found in the Champagne. He did not fire at all. So we'll kind of see what happens this year. We'll see if the horse that doesn't fire ends up winning. All right. So let's take a look at them. We'll go through them one by one like we always do. Then we will go and I will pick a winner here. And so, like I said, field of 10, and we'll start with number 1, JJ Zozo. And this is a horse that has gotten hot as of late. Won a New Jersey bred, a maiden special weight, 2 races back. Looked pretty good doing it. Then last time out, stepped out to open competition, if I could speak, and won the Smoke and Glacken last time out, and did it by 8.5 lengths, and did it pretty darn good. And I thought it really looked solid in that race. Stretching out to a mile for the first time here after running in 5.5, 5, and 6 furlong races. So that's definitely a question mark. But look, I think this horse comes in here on a hot streak for sure. I don't think he matches up from a speed figure standpoint. That's the big problem. And I think that's going to be the big problem for him today. Big time jump up in class, no doubt about it. The number 2 is Tip Top Thomas. This is a horse that debuted on Travers Day, and that's always a race that's got a lot of potential to be loaded. Tip Top Thomas ran fantastic, I thought, that day to get the job done. 2 horses have come back to run second out of that race. The rookie card, who was second, came back to run second again. In a pretty good race at Churchill Downs. And then the horse that ran 4th, Sovereignty, came back to run second in a race where I thought he was super impressive and was gaining with every stride and could be a horse to really look for. So a couple of good signs there. You would love for horses that come out of that maiden special weight and win. That did not happen, but still, they both ran pretty well. So Tip Top Thomas, going to be tough here. Obviously, just the one race at 6 furlong, now stretching out to a mile. Irad Ortiz gets aboard for the second straight race for Todd Pletcher, so obviously a lot to like about the number 2, Tip Top Thomas. Number 3 is Lethal Speed. This is another horse, just one race. It came at Gulfstream Park, 6.5 furlong win, won by a half length. The number came back very slow. Like I always say, though, numbers are what they are. I just, if I were you, I just would not get too worked up about numbers. However, this one is very slow. And when you go back and watch the race, the horse did not look just unbelievable in that Gulfstream effort. Won at 12-1 that day as well. So a little bit of a surprise to the bettors. So look, a little tad slow in the numbers. Doesn't look great on the as far as the replay goes for me. So I'm not going to back him here. I think this is just too big of a jump up in class. The number 4 is Moplex. Moplex broke the maiden by 10 lengths in a New York bred maiden special weight race. Came back to win an open company, the Grade 3 Sanford, in his next start. And then last time out, another win, this one by a nose and by a desperate nose in the New York bred Funny Side Stakes the day after the Travers. So the interesting thing for me would be on this one, he really was, to me, I thought would kind of win that New York bred race pretty easily, and it was a real struggle. I don't know. Maybe they're catching up to him a little bit. Some of the other horses, maybe he's not quite as good as we kind of thought after those first 2 starts. Even though it was a win, you'd never be disappointed in a win in a $200,000 New York bred stakes race. It didn't give me the best of confidence that he's going to, be real sharp for this one. Now, he has worked out extremely well since that race. So maybe he was just kind of not doing as well, and now he's kind of back doing well. So there's ups and downs. He's a really nice horse, 3 straight wins, New York bred doing well. Should stretch out to a mile. Past that, I get a little bit nervous about his pedigree, but a mile should be okay. I'm just not sure he's quite good enough. Also, Irad Ortiz Jr. will not ride after riding him 3 straight times. He jumped to Tip Top Thomas. Now, Manny Franco gets aboard. He's fine. And also, Tip Top Thomas is trained by Pletcher. Irad rides for Pletcher a lot. Obviously, that's his main barn, or one of his main barns. So I don't read too much into the jockey change. I just didn't really love what I saw in that last race. I'm a little bit worried about this horse. Number 5 is Uncaged. Speaking of Todd Pletcher, another Todd Pletcher runner. that was a winner on debut by a length and 3/4. That was August 3rd, Whitney Day. So another big maiden special weight. You know, the Whitney Day maiden special weights, the Travers Days. That's when you get these big horses. Uncaged looked good that day. Haven't seen him since. He skipped all of, I guess the hopeful is what he mainly skipped at Saratoga. That's not a great sign, but it's not the worst either. I think maybe here's a situation where Irad rode this horse on debut, just like he rode Tip Top Thomas on debut. Irad is on Tip Top Thomas. Now that to me is telling me that he doesn't think, Uncaged is as good as Tip Top Thomas. So Joel Rosario gets aboard again. He's fine, but at the end of the day, that is a negative in my mind because it seems like Irad probably would have had his choice between the 2 and the 5 for Todd Pletcher. Number 6 is Vekoma Rides, and Vekoma, an unbelievable 2-year-old sire so far this year. He's been fantastic. He will try to make it 2 in a row here. He won at Belmont at the Big A just 3 weeks ago and won by 5. And so it was a really nice race. I don't think it was that tough of a race as far as, a loaded field or anything like that. Not really. But really sharp effort, kind of won with a little bit of a hand ride, kind of eased at the wire. So I think comes in with a big chance here for kind of a smaller connection when it comes to grade 1 company like this. So he'd be kind of a cool story if he was able to get it done. Number 7 is Smokin' Wicked. Number 7, Smokin' Wicked. This is a horse won on debut at Evangeline Downs of all places. Seems like, probably got privately purchased or whatever, sent to Dallas Stewart after that. Was second at Churchill Downs in the Bashford Manor. Was then third in the Saratoga Special. And then really turned for home in the hopeful last time out. And I'm not going to say I thought he was going to win, but I definitely thought he had a big shot. Like he was in there. He was running well and looking good. He ends up getting caught because I just don't think he's up to this level. But he's nice. And another one, I think he'll be a decent price again. He's 31-1 in the hopeful and got 4th. He was 32-1 in the Bashford Manor when he got 2nd. So I think he can hit the board at a bigger price here. I don't love him on top, but I thought he ran very well in that hopeful. And I think he's in here with a little bit of a shot. If you want to take a price, I think he makes sense. All right, let's keep going, though. The number 8 is Colonel Bob. This is a horse coming from Parks and ran well at Parks, ran very well at Parks. On August 20th, 7 furlong maiden special weight race, dominated that one. And like you would expect, the speed figure didn't come back very fast, and that's probably because it was at Parks, and those races just don't get rated all that highly. But look, I think we've seen Parks to Aqueduct work. I think this is a very tough ask of this horse second out to move from a Parks maiden special weight to here. But he's not crazy. I mean, he did everything the right way in that debut race. The number 9 is Executive Order. This horse on August 31st got the maiden broke there right at Saratoga and did it nicely at 5-1. Listen, this was one of those maiden special weights at Saratoga that were restricted. It wasn't the regular ones. It's like restricted to horses that sold for X amount. So those are a little bit easier to win, but boy, did he do it easily. 7 3/4 length victory. Earned a decent enough speed figure for that. I think he'll be, he probably could have won a regular maiden special weight there at Saratoga with that kind of performance. So he's pretty good. Keep an eye on him here. He's another one at a price. We don't have morning line odds out yet, but you kind of know that who's going to take, money based on connections and past performances. This one probably will take a little, but not a lot. So keep an eye out for Executive Order, the 9 horse, if you're looking for a long shot. And then finally, the horse that I think will be favored in this race is the number 10 Chancer McPatrick. 2 just great efforts. I'll just say that. Getting way behind on debut and just gross. And I bet him on that debut race, and I was so pissed off because I just thought, oh my gosh, he's not going to run. And how embarrassing is that? He came running, and on the turn, I started my upset at myself of he's not going to run to upset of myself of you knew he had talent, like you kind of see on paper, and he's going to run really well and get third, basically. He just kept coming, caught him late, got the job done, won by a length. And so that was a very impressive first start for Chancer McPatrick after blowing the brake and still being up to win. That maiden special weight, the runners that were in that race, it hasn't come back to be the strongest. There has been two horses that have come back to win off of that or after that race. But, it wasn't the greatest, but still to miss the break and get that far behind and still win on your first start was good. Second start, the Hopeful, another race. I'm pretty excited about him. I did pick Ferocious to win that race. We'll talk about him later in the week. He's going to run in the Breeders' Futurity at Keeneland, so we'll talk about him. But anyway, for the Hopeful, I thought Ferocious would beat Chancer McPatrick. I did have Chancer in second that day. I thought in my mind, I've been kind of studying his workouts. I thought he had more early speed, and I thought he could sit a little bit closer. That wasn't the case. He fell way out of it again, but was able to close up and win and looked very good doing it. Won by a half length. Ferocious ran a really strange race that day. Fell back, looked like he wasn't going to fire. Then Chancer passes him, and then he re-engages with Chancer, and they run to the wire together. So, look, both races are very good. I will say, and we have full proof of the same connections, at least as far as a trainer goes. You can't keep falling behind like this. I think Sierra Leone is proof. The Chad Brown 3-year-old right now. You can win doing that, but you're not going to continue to win doing that. And so I think Chancer really reminds you a lot of Sierra Leone, at least with running style, no early speed. I think eventually he's going to have to, and I always am careful. I'm not saying you have to be on the lead or right close to the lead to win, but you got to be at least middle of the pack to win some of these major races consistently. So I think Chancer, that's the thing he's got to do. I really would love to see him get a little bit closer, and that could just not be him. And if it's not him, I mean, clearly Sierra Leone, that's not him either. And then you kind of just have to know, okay, this is who this horse is. And you kind of got to handle him like that and kind of know and realize there's going to be a couple of races this horse just isn't going to win because he's up against it. So, but I love him. He's one of my favorite horses in training right now as a 2-year-old. I should say 2-year-old horse in training. He's one of my favorites. So, all right. So that's it. That's a field of 10. And I just bragged on Chancer McPatrick like crazy. And I'm going to go against him in this spot. I'm going to go number 2, Tip Top Thomas. And it kind of goes back to what I'm saying. I think Chancer McPatrick is, a really, really nice horse. But I think Tip Top Thomas can get the jump on these horses. I think he'll take the lead, and I think he's going to take him gate to wire. And if he gets the lead and he gets comfortable, that's the type of horse that Chancer is going to have trouble running down if he's fresh in the lane and ahead of him enough. It's going to be tough to catch him. So I'm going to go number 2, Tip Top Thomas on top. I absolutely loved his maiden special weight win. I thought he did everything the right way. I think he's going to move forward off of that effort. I love that IRAD gets aboard. I'm not a huge guy on workouts, but you do look at this horse in his workouts. He's doing really, really well. So on top in the Champagne, give me number 2, a Tip Top Thomas. All right, guys, that'll do it for a preview of the Champagne Stakes live from Belmont at the Big A, Saturday, October 5th. That'll be race 8 on the card. All right, guys, thanks everybody for watching. Hit that like button. If you like the video, hit subscribe. You really like it when I get alerted anytime we do videos like this. And most importantly, good luck if you're betting Belmont at the Big A on Saturday.